Hi, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Timothy with TimothyGroup.com, and today we're going to have Tuesday's Tea Time with Tim. So, I'm going to show you the fruit that we have that we're going to blend. We're going to slice and dice and bake it, and then we're going to blend that into our tea that we have, and then I'm going to serve you the cup of tea once we get it all nice and put together. I was going to do today's raspberry leaf black tea blend just by itself, but I thought that I would add a little bit of pear. So we're going to do dried pears, slice, dice, and bake, and then we're going to blend that into our raspberry leaf tea. So it's kind of a new thing for me, but I have a feeling that they might just pair just right. I guess that's pun intended without the pun intended. So let's get to work because we're going to have a little bit of time getting this put together. The first thing we do is wash our hands and then put on our food safety gloves right here. And then we're going to get a clean cutting board that we already have, a clean knife, and start slicing and dicing some of these pear pieces. So we get those onto a baking pan and start baking them into dehydrated pieces. That way they stay well preserved and fresh when we are putting them into the tea blend itself. So sure, these are dry right now, but you want to get even a little bit more moisture out of them and try to also bake it into the right temperature, so that way it'll pair well with the dry leaves and everything starts to rehydrate once you add the boiling water. So I'm looking into doing a different type of vendor work with a place called Florence. I just have to update insurance policies and let the city know that I would be doing vending work there as well. So we're going to see how well that goes into that. So if you guys don't see me in Eugene, you can catch me in Florence. But as of now, I'm still going to be in Eugene, and I'm still going to be at the Saturday markets and the flea market Piccadilly as well when they do that. So as with all fruit, all pieces that you chop, you just want to rock your knife back and forth and get those into very small pieces. So I was thinking about that I didn't have any fruit that would go well with the pairing that I wanted to do, but something about the pear just sounded like it might be a good idea. So we're going to give this a try, and then we're going to taste it once it goes into the blend after all that in a little bit. Now that we've sliced and diced a pound of dry fruit, we're going to turn the oven to about 200, 225 degrees. Turn on the light so we remember there's something in there, and get this ready to be baked. So we're going to give it roughly about an hour or so and check in on it and see how we do. And get them. One thing about the pear fruit though is even though it's dried fruit, it's still a little on the moist side, so got to make sure that we really spread it thin. That way we can get most of the moisture out. And I need to make a note too that these fruits are also handled in a facility where nuts and what have you are also possible cross-contamination on the belt. So it is possible nut allergy. But so far the dry fruits have been doing pretty good. And it smells pretty good too right now. We're just going to pop these in. Oops. There we go. And let that sit for a little while. Normally, as I'm waiting for the fruit to dry or to bake, I'm playing Fallout or Oblivion, I think was last time. But I thought that I'd get a start on mixing this tea. And I don't know if you can tell, but those blue flowers I'm also adding in, I probably could have added in a few less because even for me, they go like hundreds and hundreds of dollars per pound of this stuff. But it's pretty, isn't it? So I thought that I would add it in here, but I think I accidentally went a little heavy, but it is pretty, right? Those purple blue leaves really do stand out. They're imported from Germany, apparently. And I'm doing my best to have different color blends and different types of teas that are more sophisticated. So that way, people are enticed on wanting to buy my tea and then also have a great experience when doing so. But I did want to go light on those petals because they are exceptional. As in, actually, what happened is I misread the price, but luckily it came in a small package, so it's good for everybody. And we're going to get those pairs in there pretty soon. And I might be working on some incense because I have loads and loads of incense, and I lowered my price. And they are fantastic incense. So thankfully, I want to compare them to the tea because they're completely different. But they're both very, very high quality for the price, especially. So, but I just thought that I would let you guys know that I'm doing additions, floral additions as well into the teas. Give them a nice color and hopefully also a nice taste. But yeah, whoops, almost dropped the phone. But yeah, we'll be on that in just one moment. After about an hour, we're going to turn off the oven, make sure that's off, turn off the light, and see what we got. Also, we got Deja right over here. Say hi, Deja. Deja. Say hi, Deja. So, she was sleeping earlier, but she thought she'd come over to say hi real fast. Pull this out of the oven. I'm gonna let that cool down for a little bit. Hi, Deja. What do you think your favorite tea is? I know it's not catnip, but whatever kind of tea it is, we're going to find out. So, but yeah, Deja says hi, and she also hopes that you guys enjoy your tea as well tonight. Just to let you guys know, no kittens were harmed in the making of this video or added to the blend as well. She's actually right over there. Say hi, Deja. But she's still part of our tea company, right? But yeah, she stays over there. So, but how funny, right? No animals were harmed in making this tea, that's for sure. So we're just gonna keep on giving this a nice mix, a blend, if you would, and get that nice and put together. Those purple leaves, I think they're called cornflowers or something like that. Although I've never seen no flowers on corn, but it shows what I know, right? So we're just gonna keep on mixing that until it gets nice and well blended. Now that we blended our tea all the way, we have a fine set of pear raspberry leaf black tea blend right here, and more on the way. But I pre-filled an infuser right here. But you can be more than happy to use your spoon. I use about 1.5 spoons because I like to have it pretty strong as well. Don't forget a teacup, which you can also get at timothygroup.com. Some honey if you're not vegan. We have watermelon honey, and we have clover honey. But today we're just going to add in the dry leaves with the fruit blend and get some hot water right on top. Also, there's brewing instructions in the back of every bag of tea as well. There we go. We're gonna get that going. And let's see. We can see a little bit of color to it, right? So we're gonna let it sit for a little bit. The light, there we go. That looks better. The light from the stove is making it hard to see. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna let that cool down for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then we'll taste it and see what you think. So right now is about the time where you bring your glass as well, and then we'll be serving in just 1 minute. To have some of the time pass, I like to entertain Deja. So it pretty much has just been me and her. So I have a friend come over occasionally, but for the most part, she only knows me. And I've had her since she was a young kitten. So I like to give her plenty of avid, sensories to keep her entertained, well fed, And I'm sure she does her part by looking cute, having lots of fun. So, oh, look at that, she caught the feather. But yeah, for part of our, I just vacuumed too, honest. But she has this little cardboard scratcher, and it's actually over here. That thing, every 2 seconds, it spreads cardboard all over the carpet. But I just vacuumed. But anyways, it gives me reason to vacuum more later, right? But Deja, she likes to play with the feathers. She likes to play is a catfish. So she's the internet's favorite catfish. But yeah, we're just gonna be playing for a little bit, letting the tea cool down, and see where we're at in a little bit. Up there, she got it again too. It's been some time, so we're gonna take out the infuser and look at that nice color. That looks like a pretty dark red color. I didn't think the raspberry leaves themselves would offer a red color, and as you can see, the pear and the leaves have been rehydrated. So that's probably why you only fill it up a little bit, because all of that will definitely rehydrate and get much bigger inside of the infuser. So look at that. Also, you can add honey if you want to, but I'm going to have it straight first and see what I think. So it seems to smell pretty good. And it seems like it's going to be really warm, but still able to have a sip. Can you hear Deja down there? Deja wants to say hi too. She wants to at least sniff, see if she is wanting to have some. Normally, she thinks that I'm trying to feed her, which I will as soon as we get done with this. So, all down, it's going to be about dinner time, and what goes great with dinner is a cup of tea, right? But look at that. I don't know if you can see it. She's right below me, so I don't want to tilt it to here. Let's do this way. Can we? Anyways, there we go, kind of. So yeah, it's a nice color, a nice flavor. Definitely the raspberry pronounces itself the most. If the pear does, it's a much lighter, but I think it's because I bake dry fruit, so it doesn't get as flavorful as one would be nice. Although now that, yeah, anyways, I'd be thinking about other ways to sweeten it too. But tell me though what you guys think about trying some pear and raspberry black tea. I know it still steams up my glasses a little bit, so it's a bit warm, but luckily I can still sip on it a little bit. It's definitely good for the throat too. And also for people who don't know, drinking this type of tea, like raspberry tea, and tea in general, is really good for circulation, oxygen in the blood, all that good stuff too. So definitely, it's doctor recommended and Timmy recommended. Have a cup of tea at least once a day, right? So I'm sure Deja could, possibly drink tea too, but she doesn't like anything but her kitten chow. Sometimes some cheap canned food. I even tried expensive canned food. It's just not her favorite. I think she's just a rescued alley cat, who likes the basics. So something her and I can definitely agree on. But I definitely like to have some decent things. This tea is definitely one of them too. I don't know if you can taste the corn flour. Well, not like grounded corn flour, right? The petals. Um, but they might add a small fragrance. They definitely add a good color to it too. But tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you guys want to try some of this too. And until next week, have a good night and a good rest of your tea too. Bye.